Back. Now, I've spoken so many times about burning out. I've spoken all around the world to so many different high achieving entrepreneurs that I think it's important to dive into what I actually do when people come to me as a client, to go from those signs of burning out and then push through to really optimizing and getting back to their best, getting back to their peak performance. And we do that one single step at a time. But if you're someone that sees yourself as seeing these signs of burning out and you're experiencing them, things like not being able to get good quality, unbroken sleep, you can't get to sleep when your head hits the pillow, or you wake up during the night to go to the toilet, or you wake up, you're part of the 4 or 5 a.m. club because you just cannot sleep past that time. And then you have energy dips in the middle of the day. You get brain fog, you get forgetful, you go into a room and just can't remember why you went in there. Things like weight problems, where you can't lose weight if that's something that's going on. You've got problems with your thyroid, early menopause, or just really, really suffering when you go through menopause. So many different signs are the whole result of the stress we've been putting our bodies through so many years of our lives. So, how do we get past that? Well, there's a kind of approach that I would take with someone. And the first thing that I would do is look at their lifestyle. Their lifestyle is the biggest influence of the stress on their body. And that's not just now. That when we're working together, that might be that someone's got such a successful business already, but they seem like they're not experiencing the stress. But to get to that, they had to go into the hustle and grind mode. They were bringing up their children. Maybe they were a single parent. Maybe they were in relationships that didn't serve them. Maybe there was childhood issues that went on and a lot of stress going through childhood. All these different things that add up. Maybe they've been through a lot of traveling and had loads of different things go on with going into different time zones. Maybe they got sick in a distant country. So we have to look at the gut microbiome, but we have to look at the lifestyle. If someone is constantly actually just only getting 4 or 5 hours sleep and they feel that that's all they need, but they're showing signs that their body is burning out, we need to look at that. The sleep pattern is one of the biggest things that we have to look at. We want to make sure that you are getting to sleep within an hour of every single day. So set a time for say 10:30 or 11 p.m. and get to sleep within an hour of that every single day, including the weekends. Your body will work on this natural body clock, the circadian rhythm, and it's the same for waking up. Don't wake up at 6 a.m. one day and 9 a.m. the next day. Simply find a time that works for you during the week and the weekend and stick to that. Your body likes rhythm. Your body likes routine. So look at that. Then we look at the different stresses that are going on. Is it something that we have to look at in the business? Now, I'm not a business coach, but helping people with their health, helping people get rid of that brain fog, helping people stop burning out makes them more money because they get more focus within their work and they get more done. They get more clarity. They get more things completed consistently. And one of the things is outsourcing. So we look at what things can they push to outsource that they really don't need to do or don't look like doing. That's part of their lifestyle. Then we get into other stress management sides of things. What things are causing them? Are they perceptions of stress or are they physical stresses that are going on? And one of the biggest physical stresses that happen is poor blood glucose management. I'm certain you've heard me speak about it before, but poor blood glucose management, where we go on this roller coaster of carbohydrates first thing in the morning, having smoothies, having cereal, not having enough protein, not getting good levels of fats, all these things add up. And we want to make sure that we are countering these by having good, consistent meals and picking our food the right way. So we look at someone's nutrition diary, we look at their food diary and we see where can we have these quick wins? Is it just adding protein to certain meals? One of the things I get a lot of people to do is just have a large salad before they start their actual main meal. So they have loads of greens and fiber and nutrients going into their stomach just to help them with balancing their blood glucose levels. It helps a hell of a lot. Making sure that in the evening, they're not snacking on sugary snacks. They do want something in the evening, having some protein or having something that is like a few nuts or something that have got fats in them. They're things that are going to help. Then we get into movement. Many people that I work with, yes, some people are getting their steps in. Many people aren't. But a lot of times, if they are working out, they're working out first thing or last thing, and they're very sedentary throughout the day. So things like getting a standing desk like this, getting a desk treadmill. I can't get on with a desk treadmill, I'm not going to lie. But things like that have been known to help people get their movement and get their steps in. So how can we get more movement in? And then we have to look at an individual approach. So I take each client through a very, very extensive questionnaire and look at their health history. Look at certain inflammatory triggers, whether it's genetic predisposed conditions, whether it's their health history of different conditions they've had. We look at inflammatory triggers within their diet. Are they reacting to certain foods? We look at their environment and their toxin exposure. Is there mold exposure? Is there are there excess toxins within the air outside that we need to work on our detoxification systems in order to improve that? So many different things. Have they had too much oxidative stress? They've gone through stress, and now we need to actually improve their body's tolerance to it and get their antioxidant levels up. And how is their cellular health? A lot of people talk about mitochondria, basically the brain within the cell, the mechanism, the engine within the cell. How is their health there? Because if they've got poor mitochondrial health and we put them on a severe calorie deficit or even a calorie deficit, they might find that they're not able to have good cellular function. So they get really bad cravings, goes back onto blood glucose management as well. And they're just not able to follow a diet and they struggle to drop weight as a result. So what do we do? Looking at things like breath work, that's going to help. Breath work, things like the Wim Hof method help for some people. Try not to do it later at night because it can be stressful for some people, and look at it on an individual basis. You can also look at meditation to switch off. Things like non-sleep deep rest or yoga nidra are very, very powerful. But also things like, I've done videos on the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis before, the HPA axis. Now, what that is a signaling throughout the brain where a lot of people think burnout, adrenal fatigue, or these sorts of things are their adrenals not working. But it's usually a signal to that. Your hypothalamus signaling your pituitary gland, signaling your adrenals, and then it's the output. Now, we can support that with things like adaptogenic herbs, things like ashwagandha, rhodiola, holy basil, or tulsi. These things are going to be really, really powerful. Maybe we need to get some nutrients in there, some trace minerals, some zinc, some magnesium. Magnesium is responsible for so many different enzymatic reactions within the body that most people are actually deficient on it. Even if we're having a good diet, usually soil is deficient in the world nowadays. Again, looking at that circadian balance, getting up at a similar time, sleeping at a similar time. What is your morning routine? Are you having caffeine first thing in the morning? Are you getting screen exposure late at night? All these different things. Then we look into their priorities. What actually are their priorities? Because some people's priority isn't their health, but are they actually prepared to deal with the repercussions of pushing their health to the side? The deal with it later mentality is, let me get to 7 figures, then I'll deal with it. But actually, if we got our body working better, we'd get to 7 figures quicker and we won't burn out on the way and we'll be able to enjoy it more. One thing that does help people is when we look at building some muscle. A lot of people stress themselves out with high levels of cardio, but if we actually build a bit of muscle, we can actually have more blood flow, more nutrient delivery, and more lean tissue, which is going to help us so much more. And other things like grounding and being in nature are always going to help as well. But overall, these are the things that are going to help you. I look at each client's individual status with their lifestyle, with their history, with their stress management. We look at their blood glucose control. We look at their movement levels. We look at their inflammatory triggers in the diet, their oxidative stress, the exposure to chemicals and toxins, their mitochondrial health, all these different things. But if you start working on yourself with actually looking at what is the minimum I can do, start with your nutrition, test your blood glucose levels, get that nice and consistent throughout the day, and already you'll notice better focus and better concentration. And then you'll start getting better sleep. As a result, if you want to lose weight, it will become easier. Brain fog will go. All these different things as a result. If you do need help with this on an individual basis, drop me a message and we can arrange a call to have a chat through, and I can see what I can do in order to help you. Go to www.ojayhealth.com and you'll be able to book in for a call with me and we can have a chat through. Or if you just want to get my free presentation on is this burnout, go to www.ojayhealth.com/burnout. Thank you.